Hello, true crime junkies. Welcome back to Covered True Crime on another show recap on GYPSY ROSE Life After Lockup, Season 2, Episode 6. We are almost there. I believe there's 8 episodes in the season, just like Season 1, so we have 2 more to cover. If this sounds interesting, please stay tuned. So the episode opens up at the Blanchard home. We see Ken. He's like a little kid in a candy store, all excited that he has this new fishing shirt. The producers ask him, I think they ask him, or he's wondering why he has pockets on his shirt, and he's like, he don't know. But he's more excited about the stupid ass fishing shirt that he has on instead of fishing. And Rod is determined to make a man out of Ken, okay? So he's like, yeah. Talking to the producers, being Ken, just us guys, we're gonna do guy things. We're gonna go crabbing, we're gonna go fishing. Ken decides to make himself useful because he don't know what else to do and asks Rod, does he need any help? And Rod's like, no, I got it, dude. Cause Rod considers Ken a dumbass because Rod starts talking to producers, telling him, about the objective of the day, to bond. And the fact that he thinks Ken's an idiot, he knows a lot of things that we don't know. And the fact that he left his wallet at the store that morning. But we agree with you on that, Rod. We definitely agree. So they pack up, they get to their destination, and it's raining really, really hard. And Rod's like, you can pick the day to go fishing, but you can't pick the weather. And obviously, they're just sitting there trying to see if it ends, but it doesn't. And Rod's like, well, I'm not going to put y'all at risk to get electrocuted or lightning. And then there's a conversation about Ken talking about, yeah, I've never been hit by lightning before. And GYPSY's like, yeah, the rain seems pretty choppy. I don't know, guys. That is what the fuck she said. I don't know what she means by that. But that was it. They didn't get to go fishing. And then we get to see, we get to the next scene, which is at Ken's house, which is actually GYPSY's house, but I don't know why they label it as Ken's house. Now, I can only just guess who's doing all the decorating in the house, because everywhere you look, there's pictures of GYPSY and Ken. No other family member, just GYPSY, her face is plastered everywhere, or GYPSY and Ken. But anyway. You get to see Ken. He's opening some boxes. Apparently they received the baby dresser and a couple of items that go in the room. And him and GYPSY get to talking about what's one important thing that you learned from your parents that you would like to incorporate into parenthood now. And, we start to see clips of Ken when he was a baby. He starts talking that his parents divorced when he was at a young age, and his mom was, a single parent. He was in a single parent household, but it was still very loving, and he got to spend time with his siblings, and it was very family oriented regardless. And he just, he would like to apply that, but he is going to be, a father. And here comes GYPSY. GYPSY always has to bash her mother. Growing up, my mom wasn't good at a lot. I would say that. Yeah, only that you survived and that she took you to all your appointments and made sure that all your medical needs were met. You even said yourself that you were spoiled rotten. But yeah, your mom taught you how to read, that you were reading Harry Potter books. She also, at the age, I think you were like 1 or 2 years old, pointing to your cranial and your phalanges, and you knew where they all were at. But yeah, you can't get anything good from your mother, only then just bashing her. That's it. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. And the fact that, you grew up with manners, so you're trying to make yourself look good, that you have proper manners. That's it. We then cut to GYPSY, Christy, a couple of people. They're going down to Lark's Acadian Village, and that is where the baby shower was taking place. And they're just going over to talk to director and to the chef that's doing all the food, just to get an idea where everything is going to be placed and, everything that needs to be done. So everybody starts to sit, and Chef Rusty is talking about the jambalaya that he's going to make. And the topic comes up where Gypsy has to let them know that anytime that there's exposure when it comes to her, that they're going to have backlash. Like, we've all seen it online. So it was hilarious that the director of Lake Arcadia was like, she started when she was like, I mean, but we're obviously Team Gypsy. The fact that she stuttered to say that, because that company, Lake Arcadia, is actually a wonderful area where all the funds that they make, they give back to children and adults with disabilities. So the fact that Gypsy and her mother defrauded many organizations, and she fixed her lips and said that she is Team Gypsy, and she struggled to say that was a very interesting watch. We then go back home, Ken's home, where he's making his phone calls because his family's coming over, obviously, for the baby shower. And he's letting them know that he's not going to be there, but he's letting them know, where they're going to have the key, so that way they can get inside the house, because Gypsy nobody's going to be home. So producers start to talk to Ken, and he's like, yeah, Rod and Chrissy already met his brother, but Gypsy hasn't met his brother and the rest of the family. And next thing you know, Ken has to start getting ready to go, I guess, run away from Gypsy, because none of us believe Ken has a job. So Ken goes into the living room because he's getting ready to leave, and Gypsy's just on her fucking ass like usual. And he asks her, did you pack? And she's like, no, not yet. He's like, well, what time are you leaving? She's like, I don't know that. She looks fucking pissed. And, they say their goodbyes or whatever. And then that's when she has to do her one-on-one with the producers and bash her mother again. This time is about her loving the experience of being pregnant, but she's saying that her mother expressed that she never did like being pregnant. Whenever Gypsy moved in her stomach, quote unquote, it felt like it was alien-like. It just wasn't a good experience being pregnant. And that's fair. You don't have to bash your mother about that, because some women don't have an easy pregnancy. Some women are, they experience nausea throughout their whole pregnancy. They experience complications, and that's okay. Some women do not enjoy being pregnant, but they enjoy being parents. But, any chance she gets, she has to shit on her mom, because taking her out wasn't enough. Next, Gypsy Rose goes and meets this woman named Stephanie, one that does the cookies for Gypsy Rose's baby shower. And this scene was really, really upsetting, because she is like a fan fanatic when it comes to Gypsy. She's just like, oh my God, we have so many things in common. And it's sad, because she says that she is a survivor, a victim. You know what I mean? You can read the caption. And she's just like, thank you. You are a great inspiration for those who have been, that went through something similar, which is really, really frustrating, because all Gypsy's doing is writing off the coattails of people who actually has been a victim. And it's disgusting. And we all wish that it can just end, and that she just fucking goes away already. Just go away. But we're all gonna ride the shit show and watch how it all crumbles down. But anyway, we then get Raina and Ken's half-brother Trace. They have finally arrived to Ken's home. And like previous stated, that Ken spoke to them on the phone prior to them arriving that he isn't going to be home. So they're looking for the key to get inside the house. They get in, and Raina is so happy to see Parker. She calls him Mr. Parker. It is so cute. The next morning, everyone is there at Ken's house. We get to see Raina, Angel, which is Raina's friend, and then Angel's boyfriend, which is right beside Ken. His name is Michael, I believe. And Trace, which is Ken's half-brother. They're all at the table, and they're discussing where the baby shower is going to be, and Raina's just so excited that the girls are excited that finally one of the brothers are having a baby, and that has to be Ken. Producers then do a one-on-one with Raina, Ken Urker's mom, asking her how how does she feel about the news about Gypsy being pregnant? And Raina also says, just like Rod, she knew that she wanted a baby really bad. And Raina shows her frustrations and her disappointment when she's talking to the producers. Like, hey, I'm like, no. She wants a baby. Pay attention. No. Now it's not the time. But then again, as soon as she said that, boom, they found out she was pregnant. But the disappointment in her face says it all. But then at the same time, she goes, but a baby is a blessing. So, of course, I'm going to be supportive of my son and the baby now that the baby is going to be here. The producers then have a 101 with Trace, which is Ken's half-brother, and he expresses that in an ideal world, in an ideal timeline, that it would have been best if they have waited until, they got to know each other more, since being separated for so long and then establishing a relationship, incarceration, it isn't the same as establishing and having a relationship in the real world. But he believes that they're heading towards the right step, whatever that means. Okay. And boy, I just want to say that Trace is a complete opposite of Ken. For starters, Trace has a whole head of luscious, scrumptious hair. Beautiful hair. The type of hair that you will love to pull when you're making love. Sorry, Gypsy, that your boyfriend doesn't have any. If you pull his hair, I'm pretty sure he will have a fit. So then, Trace and Ken decide to go out to have some brotherly convo and some lunch. And automatically, Trace says, I bet you love it when you get to go to work and get away from it all. And we all know Ken loves to get away from Gypsy. Like, who wouldn't? You can't even get away from her when she's not in the fucking house, because anywhere you look, you see her face. On the computer, on the refrigerator, on the bed, on the sheet. Anywhere you look, you see pictures of Gypsy. He can't even get away from her from home. So I'm pretty sure getting out of the house at his so-called quote-unquote job does it for him. Now, I find it funny that Ken is always showing his little bit of baby hairs in the front, but while he's next to his brother with his full head of scrumptious hair, he made sure to wear a hat. You see, he's wearing his cap. He does not want to be caught in comparison to that whole head of hair that his brother has. But they continue catching up. It's just like a nice warm bromance. It's really sweet. We then get to see Mia. Mia is highly anxious because she has a responsibility to plan and coordinate Gypsy Rose's baby shower. And she lets out her frustration because she's like, look, if I'm going to plan this, I need a couple of things from you in order to make this baby shower outstanding and what it needs to be. And she's like, look, I don't know how much help Gypsy is going to be. I mean, I get it. She's pregnant, but I just need a few things. And I just called her just now and she doesn't have any of it. And time is ticking. I have to get this baby shower done, which is understandable. If anyone ever planned a baby shower for your family member or your friend, it's a big responsibility and you want to make sure that everything is well because they're doing something for you, so it falls on them. Mia finally arrives to the destination where the baby shower is going to be held, and she goes look at the cookies, and boy, she is now letting out her frustration at the fucking cookie lady because she's like, what am I going to do with this? It's the baby shower is all bows and you got cookies with a whole bunch of fucking flowers on it. And I want it to look cohesive. I mean, sure, Gypsy will say it's fine. It's okay. But I want it to look right. I want things to look cohesive and not like a whole pink mess. She is so frustrated that no one has common sense that she wants a drink and a shot of tequila. Then she says that she wanted to put Gypsy and Ken's baby pictures in this location with the baby outfits, but they never gave her any of the pictures. They never sent her any pictures. But you know what I realized? They sure sent pictures to the producers. If it ain't about money, they don't know nothing about it. We then get to see Gypsy and Christy, putting on their masks in the bathroom. And that's when Gypsy goes on to tell Christy, before Ken's brother came over, he was like, I have this very attractive brother, and he was just concerned. And Christy's like, what? Oh, all men are like that. They just get worried, like he was gonna take his woman away, like he was gonna take Gypsy away. Christy, don't nobody want Gypsy, okay? Unless it's for their own agenda. Nobody wants Gypsy. And that's when Gypsy goes ahead and reveals that she has insecurities towards her sister Mia as well. She's like, yeah, I have a sister like that too. So yeah, two peas in a pod. And it makes sense. Ken has insecurities towards his brother Trace, and Gypsy has insecurities towards her sister Mia. And for like the fourth time again, we get Gypsy Rose shitting on her mother again. Gypsy says that there's nothing good enough, because her mother wasn't good enough, to use anything that she learned from her mother to apply it to her newly becoming motherhood. We then get to the baby shower that Mia tried her best to do because she didn't get the things that she needed and people was fucking it up like the cookie lady. Mike Stanfield is there and Ken's like, oh wow, I didn't expect him to be here. Why not? That's Gypsy's fucking manager. Yeah, man. That's Mike Scanfield. Of course he's gonna be there. He got Gypsy out of the freaking death penalty. Of course he's gonna be there. We get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, happy gatherings and family. And then we get to see Gypsy say the stupidest shit ever. I hate it when, all eyes are on me. Sure, Jan. Sure. Dumb and Dumber 1 and 2, Ken and Trace are the only ones that take the baby shower game really serious. And Ken goes on to say, everyone loves her. Everyone loves Gypsy and loves us. Yeah, okay. The baby shower is now over. We get to another day. I say this because Ken is going to be wearing another shirt, because we all know he likes to wear his favorite 3 shirts. We get to a montage where content creators are spreading rumors that Ken broke up with Gypsy. And that's when we get to see Ken on the phone with Gypsy, and he's calling her and he's like, hey, I heard a rumor that you were in labor today. I didn't get a call. And she's like, no, I'm not in labor. And they just enjoy a normal conversation, like every couple's talking about the latest rumors about themselves. And then my favorite part of Life After Lockup, we get to see Parker. He's my favorite actor. Before Trace goes home, Ken and Trace end up chopping it up one last time, and they're talking about the rumors where Ken goes, I can't deal with the rumors. She gets it worse than me, talking about Gypsy, and sometimes I am just at my wit's end. And a content creator recently reached out to him that day talking about, can he confirm or deny if Gypsy and him broke up? And he was like, no, that didn't happen. And that's when producers talk to Trace, and Trace is like, yeah, I can tell that Ken is really stressed with the whole rumor situation, but not without calling Gypsy what everybody that doesn't really know Gypsy and her other 4 personalities, he calls her sweet. Yeah. We then get to another day, and it's time. They are finally going fishing, and Rod's making sure they have everything. We got the bug spray, we got the sunscreen, and they get on that boat. When they get on the boat, Rod lets Ken try to take the steering wheel, and he is scared shitless. I think he let out a big old toot. If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard that. Then he gets so excited again, like a kid in a candy store. Oh my God, bro, is that an orca? Holy shit, is that an orca? And you see Bobby and you see Rod dying laughing. Whoa, did you see that? And they're just mocking him, and I swear it's all shits and giggles. Ken later redeems himself, well, sorta, when he finally catches a fish, but Bobby's trying to teach him because he doesn't know how to hold the fish, and he's over here squirming like a little girl. Oh my God, how do I hold it? How do I hold it? But then when he's squirming for the fish, that is when I noticed something. What the fuck is this? Why does he have on his Sunday best church shoes on to be on a slippery ass boat? I mean, like Rod said, what an idiot. Well, you know, I think we can all say that Rod, you know, unsuccessfully tried to get Ken to grow a pair. But that was that. Next, we get to see Gypsy Rose getting her 3D ultrasound of her baby. Rod and Christy and Ken are there. And Rod has a heart-to-heart with the producers, talking about because of his fishing job, where he's away for months at a time, he didn't really get to see, you know, his kids being born and things like that, but he was there for them. But because he left Dee Dee, Gypsy's mother, before she was born, she doesn't remember anything. And that's when producers talk to Gypsy, and that's when, for the first time, she goes in on Rod. And she was like, yeah, he was never there when I was born, because at the time he was 17, 18, and he was at the bars. And here's Ken saying, don't say that. Gypsy's like, no, it's public knowledge. Yeah, Ken. What Gypsy did to her mother and who she really is behind that fake innocent voice and sweet face, like people like to call her, quote unquote, is a horrible, egregious, murderous, manipulative sociopath. But you're an idiot, and you don't check into that. So you would have known that Rod took a job and deserted Dee Dee, okay, to raise her all on her own, a sick child that Gypsy ultimately snuffed off the earth. But that was the end of episode 6. That was called A Baby Shower or Breakup. This is, episode 6. I believe there will be 2 more. And hopefully to God that there is no more episodes. Now, what I found hilarious was the preview coming up for episode 7. And you see Gypsy and Ken sitting on a couch at the house, and she talks to him about finalizing the divorce. But before finalizing the divorce, she wants to have a one-on-one closure conversation, with Ryan, her husband, her soon-to-be husband at this point. And the look on his face, guys, oh, he is pissed to all hell. Like, come on now. You could have had this conversation with him. You wait now to have this conversation, and he gets ready to walk off on the couch. So that's going to be interesting, I must admit. So I look forward to bringing you episode 7 next week. As usual, I normally tend to post the show recaps on Thursdays. So if you reached this portion of the video, thank you so much for tuning in. Please put your thoughts and comments down below. Thank you for watching. And as always, please take care of yourself and be safe. Until next time.
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run. So I ran to the